Hey guys. You ever, I don't know, you ever be like reading something or scrolling through something or whatever and it just like makes you stop? It just feels so, fucking deep that you're like, holy shit. I don't know, like it just makes you think in a way or feel in a way that you really haven't acknowledged that you had the ability to do before. Yeah? So the reason I'm talking about this is I came across this post and it says, "The soul is neither born nor does it die. Having never existed, will it ever cease to be? The soul is birthless, eternal, changeless, and immortal." And of course, as I aforementioned, I was like, whoa, fuck, that's some deep shit. And I started thinking more about it and feeling into what all that actually means, you know? And it's kind of hard to grasp, isn't it? It's kind of hard to think about being everything and nothing. Being both alive, yet continually dying. Being here and there. And yet, as energy, that's what we fucking are. So, I fucking decided, let's talk about it, shall we? And you guys, the answer is yes, we fucking shall. Because it's my podcast. But no, because why the fuck not? Why not? Why not take, 40 minutes out of our day to think outside of what is than staying stuck in a fucking loop, right? Especially a loop that we feel isn't really working for us, right? And if you find that the deeper thoughts or whatever don't work for you after all, you can always go back to your fucking loop. I mean, you know how it goes. You can jump right in at any time. So yeah, let's think about it. I want you to think about achievement. You can like sit up a little straighter with that word. Yeah, puff your chest out a bit. Achievement. Think about immortality. Again, sit up real. Make you feel like a badass, right? Immortality. Think about leaving a legacy. Whew. Such big implications in these words, right? And I don't know about you, but for me, the bigger the implication, I don't know, it just gives a sense of pressure, right? Pressure in my life to get there. I don't like it. But hey. So, falling in line with this, right, I'm reminded of a YouTube video that I watched. It was an interview with Jim Carrey. And he was talking about the real you. I think that's what it's called, the real you. It's pretty interesting to listen to, I think. But go ahead and watch it yourself, yeah? Because I'm a firm making up words. A firm believer that you decide. No, don't take what I say. That's me. That's my journey. That's what works for fucking me. You gotta find what works for fucking you. But yeah, decide for yourself. Decide how it hits you. Anyway, yeah, I watched this video and instantly it's like I just felt something inside me. I almost heard it within me, yeah? And it was like a little thing. It was just saying, isn't it funny? Isn't it funny how the ego makes you think you'll never be enough? It tells you that you must leave this imprint upon the time in the life you think you're living. That you must do more and have more and be more. Right? It's like an immortal remembrance of you. Right? That you feel has to live on forever after you. But that's where we get tricked by our own ego, said the inner knowing. And me, I was like, how? How does it trick me? I think it's important to ask yourself questions sometimes, you guys. Don't worry about if somebody looks at you funny. Fuck them. You'll get the answers and they'll just have a funny look on their face. But I did. I ask. And I sit with it in silence. I sit in the space of it. If you hear noises, it's the dogs. I'm at my mother's house and there's a lot of dogs right now, which I love, but still. Yeah, so I ask the questions, and because I sit with it, I knew, you know? See, if we're all divine already, energetic beings, all interconnected with each other as pieces of source energy, then the sense that I am me and you are you is completely irrelevant. The separation is an illusion. And the ego trick is that we become convinced that we must do more to prove our existence as these physical beings. But actually, what we must do is realize that we have nothing to do. Nothing to prove to ourselves, because technically we are not ourselves. Nothing to prove outside of us, because there's actually nothing outside of us. Nothing exists unless we focus on its existence. There's a saying that the universe experiences itself by dividing itself. And so that's what we essentially are. Vessels of the universe experiencing itself. A slice of the universal pie. And we must realize that being a slice of the pie means that any time we can put our slice back into the spot we took it out of the hole. We're simply a triangle piece of that pie that fits back nicely into the circle of all that is. A circle or a cycle of all that is, yeah? And that repeats lifetime after lifetime. And each human being a triangle slice of that cycle is a different experience for the universe to gain from each vessel on Earth. And again, the triangle comes through, bearing its importance on all that is. The power of three. Throughout history, right, we've all heard the stories and lessons of those who came before that seek the everlasting life. The immortality of the gods. The search for the fountain of youth, right? But as we gain height in our own ascension and our consciousness shifts to a higher state, we see the fact is, as we are already immortal. And when we leave this physical state of what we have come to associate as who we are, then the fact is we've already left an impression upon the earth. I feel like the need we focus on about having our individual impact be so monumental, right? Like it has to be this big monumental impact that we leave behind is fucking ridiculous. Because honestly, the minimal impacts, or minimal as we tend to view them at least, or have been conditioned to view them, are the true imprint of who we are as a person on Earth. Like, from the words we spoke to our friends when they needed to hear them, to, I don't know, maybe a story you wrote in freshman year that made you realize writing was your calling, that allowed you to enlighten others through your stories. To the flowers you planted at every home you ever dwelled in. to the simple smile you give to those you pass on the street. All these things are part of your immortality and the way you leave a print of your essence upon this world. Because the truth is, you guys, you're always enough. You're always enough because you are everything and everything is you. And there is literally nothing more meaningful or monumental than fucking that. And I know this can be hard to understand when we're just starting out. Starting out at anything new is difficult. It is, because it takes a new effort for us. But I ask you, what good in life comes without a little effort? Nothing. Things easily attained are seldom worth it. Over time, you learn that. Now, allowing life to flow to you, some will say, oh, well, that's easy. That's taking the easy route. You live life easy. Not necessarily. See, the law of attraction is about backing off. Control, but it's also about knowing when to put the effort into what you're meant for, right? Like backing off the control part of it is what I'm saying. But when your intuition tells you, go, move, call, do, jump, fucking, you understand it in that moment. That's the difference of taking something easy and allowing what's best for you to put you at ease. See? Like, from taking the easy looking relationship to get, what are they called? Those get rich quick schemes. In the end, you see that they never were that quote unquote easy after all. But sometimes, if you had chosen instead to put effort into that other relationship that maybe looked too hard at first, or that career path, that truly spoke to you but you ignored, then it would have shown to actually be easier, the easier choice at least in the long run. Your happiness in it would have created the ease. But too often we ignore this simply because these options required a little more effort in the beginning to get going. And also, guys, because sometimes we don't feel worthy of our own happiness. Put it this way, okay? If the easy route is the way to go, because sometimes it can be, right? If it's the way to go, it'll come to you with no doubt. No other choice and no blockages. There'll be none of those in your heart and mind when you're choosing it. And that's why me personally, I'll take ease in my life over easy any fucking day. Because it's about knowing what you love. It's about being able to sit with you alone. Just you. No one else. No boyfriend, husband, wife, girlfriend, kids, parents, social media, none of that. Just sitting with yourself. And I heard a reader once talking about the importance of yourself, and she had a really good point about it. She said that yourself is a two-part word. Your and self. Because this is the self, the vessel that was given to you in order to be able to exist on this planet. You're the one who has to take care of the self. The gift of you. And this vessel is not you, but an incarnation version for you to explore and really develop and enjoy the human experience. Ease into it, yeah? And you have to get to know yourself. You have to learn to sit with this version of self that was gifted to you by the divine. See? And in order to get there, you have to allow the inner voice to become your biggest cheerleader, your greatest support system, yeah? Not a second guesser, not an easy route taker, not a self-sabotage system. I'm convinced, for my own life, okay, that by choosing to live in peace and fucking harmony, you guys, that I've been able to release that inner critic that I used to hear so much above all else when I listened within. But what I've done is I've chosen to become soft when I listen. And it's made a huge difference in the way I view myself and my place in this world by silencing that inner self-sabotaging voice. I don't know. I feel more relaxed. I feel like I can just go about my life in joy and share that joy wherever I go. And personally, I just absolutely fucking love that. I just fucking do. Because it took a lot for me to realize that the critic within me was a fucking bitch. And I don't like bitches. Except my dogs. But honestly, guys, I think it's time to reconsider your definition of yourself. Because life is too short. Life is too short to not focus on the things, people, feelings, places, all that shit. All that shit, you guys, that truly makes you feel happy. And we do this by acknowledging that your self is not who you are. It is what you need to be here now. A body that serves a purpose to be on this planet. And the mind, body, soul, right? The triangle of humanity. The pie piece of all that is. A slice of you that the world is able to see. The physical version of you, but inside the real you is all the tiny ingredients that the universe has made in making this pie tangible. You know, to human eyes. We are not what we see. We need to learn to deconstruct the self and break it down to the rawest ingredients. My accent came out a lot there, huh? I can't say that word good. Rawest. There you go. And, yeah, break it down to those ingredients in order to love the taste of the pie that we've become. Fuck, I'm hungry now. I don't know why my guide's gotta put it out in like food metaphors. But I hope you get what I'm putting down here, okay? We are more than what we appear. And the first time we are able to actually acknowledge and appreciate that within us, for us, that's when we are stepping into our highest version. The ego works with us from that point and no longer against us because we know ourselves. And this is a very deep realization, right? Just like I talked about in the beginning of the episode. But it is kind of kick-ass if you can embrace it, because it means that the world we've been controlled into thinking is, I don't know, basic and kind of gloomy and depressing is actually pretty fucking magical after all. And it's all the perspective we hold. And it all starts with that perspective of self. Awareness of yourself as a two-part word. Yeah? And when it comes to us, you guys, as a society, as humans, as a race, and even as intelligent as we are sometimes, if we compare ourselves, okay, to the intelligence of the universe, well, think about it like this, okay? It's like a 2-year-old. We being the 2-year-old trying to drive a car, okay? Can't read, so we don't know what they're looking at. You can't reach the pedals. The steering wheel is fucking bigger than you are. Right? But the parent is the universe in this scenario, okay? The parent can strap the 2-year-old into a car seat, all snug and safe, and the parent, aka universe, takes the wheel, yeah? And the 2-year-old gets to wherever they need to go by allowing the parent to drive. The parent has the smarts that the 2-year-old doesn't realize it even needs, because in actuality, the 2-year-old isn't even worried about how to drive the car. He just trusts his parent knows and allows that to be as it is. Do you see the ease? That's how we need to allow the universe to guide us in our lives. But first, we have to understand the self that the universe has gifted to us. Otherwise, we will feel the need to take control, and our toddler asses will continue to try to tell the universe how to fucking drive. I mean, the little kid strapped into the car seat doesn't worry about the how. He just rides along, and the destination is presented to him when he fucking gets there. And that's the fucking way, you guys. That's the fucking way. And I say it all the time, but the whole honor your inner child is a legit method of how to live. It's back to basics, so to speak, yeah? Be the toddler when it comes to the universe, source, spirit, God, whatever you like to say. Let yourself get strapped into life a little. Take a nap on the longer roads and wake up groggy with them friggin' eye crusties in the corner of your eyes when the car suddenly stops, and sit up looking around wondering how the heck you got here. But not in a bad way. Because the surroundings you're looking at are beautifully lit up by the creator of all that is, and this life, destination that you've reached, is the life you've realized you were always meant for. And just by allowing it to be. Oh, the ease. Imagine. And that's the hardest thing. We overcome too, you guys. Trying to control the way. It's like, we all want things in life that we can't even imagine, right? Like the best fucking things that seem so out of our reach. Those things that we feel that are beyond our scope. We feel that way because we have never, ever experienced them before. And if we have never, ever experienced them before, then how the hell are we thinking we're going to control that? We literally don't even know where to start. And that's why we need to allow. Because the universe has millions upon millions of avenues to drive that car we're strapped into. And we just need to sit in our seat with our juicy juice and our little fucking goldfish cracker snacks and enjoy the view as we cruise along into that epic life we seek. I mean, why is it so easy for us to ignore the fact that we have become so lost within this matrix that we continually live the same day over and over, and we don't see anything wrong with it? Now, I'm fucking dead serious. This was a big catalyst for my awakening for myself almost 2 years ago now. That was my life path catalyst, yeah? My self-love catalyst, oh, that's a whole nother story. But truth is, they both made me realize that the reason I felt a missing out of them was because I had experienced the joy of what the true meanings around them meant for me. The feeling of that, I don't know, excitement of it, yeah? The feeling of it's just right. that it's all meant to be. And what I've come to understand is I'm meant to have that feeling. You know, the jobs or the people or whatever, maybe they were fleeting, you know? But the vibe of that, yeah, I embrace that. The feeling of that. And I've learned to not dwell so much on the details of the who, what, when, why, and how. Because as I always say, if the feeling feels good, bring on more of those feels. And the good will come to you. If the people are meant to be, they'll come to you. If the job, it will just come and you'll know when to put the effort into those things. We need to get back to that childlike wonder. Not knowing how we are getting there, but simply enjoying the journey because we trust the universe is always delivering. And when we embrace that feeling of awe, of fucking glee, you can tell that I'm channeling because I don't say words like glee. Fucking yes, all the time, but glee? But anyway, it's just funny to me. The unknown in that, right? That's when we become the light ourselves. Because others see us and are realizing they too are not alone and can live their dreams as well. Allow, please let go and trust the universe. Even a little bit to start, you guys. And when you begin to allow and you get into that freaking gleeful bliss feeling, and you have those fucking aha moments, the epiphanies of your next guided steps, where your effort belongs, just be with it. Yeah. Honor it alone for a little while. And that's part of knowing yourself too, right? Because sometimes what we do, and this is how we feel defeated, is because we share our greatest dreams and goals and ideas with others who aren't on our vibration. And because they are only able to see what they've seen and cannot fathom a force beyond where they're at, right? Even though you know something's guiding you, your journey, but you care about these other people, then unfortunately, sometimes they can talk you out of your own dreams, goals, desires. And it's not malicious that they do this. It's actually their version of love because, again, they cannot see beyond what they've never experienced. That's why, you know, those people who always have one great big idea after another, and they're always talking about them, but nothing ever seems to come to fruition? Well, most often is because they're so excited about this idea, they're talking about them too early to people who just don't understand. And they get discouraged. They're sharing themselves with those that actually dim their light. But it doesn't have to be that way. It doesn't. And that's why knowing yourself is so important. Because if you do, you know how the universe speaks to you. And you trust that. And the byproduct of that trust in the universe is trust in you as well. And all you want in this life. You're not swayed away from the vibration of those others who just don't get your dreams because you realize that you're on your own path. And if you really feel like you're meant to put effort into that path, person, place, whatever, and the person you're talking to just doesn't believe in you, well, guess what? They just don't fucking have to. Abraham Hicks likes to say, We kill the momentum of our desires by thinking of the thoughts that are in contradiction to what we want. I say, we need to stop fucking doing that shit. Let the vibration behind the idea build up before you share it with the world. Because when there is so much behind the idea, then the naysayers can't even be heard over the resonance of what you're broadcasting vibrationally. See? Just tell yourself that it feels good to feel good. It feels good to feel good, and allow that feeling. I mean, why do we find it easier to feel into doubt than into belief when believing naturally feels better? I don't know. You tell me. Doesn't hearing someone say it out loud make it seem so ass backwards? And this falling into doubt happens because our logical mind makes us lose hope. We only gain hope through our awareness. Being aware of that self that you've been gifted is how you recognize all the other gifts meant for you. See? I guess in the end, it's always going to be up to you to decide whether or not you have faith in what you friggin' know. Think of it like walking a tunnel. The light is all the way at the end, and you see it. Even though it's all dark around you, right? You know you're not crazy, and you know that that's a light up there. It is a light, right? Sometimes we have to keep going even if we are walking in the dark. And when that tiny light at the end of the tunnel seems to have disappeared, because sometimes it does, right? If we are aware of ourselves and our connection with the universe, then we have a greater understanding around that. We understand that what has actually happened is spirit has blocked the path momentarily. That there was a reason for a slight delay or detour. And that really the light at the end of the tunnel, it hasn't disappeared at all. It's only been blocked by a temporary object. But if we give up at that point when we lose sight of the light, we don't know that. We don't know that it's only slightly hidden. We only realize that if we continue on down the tunnel, when we move past that object and we see that the light was never gone. It's always one step closer as we move forward. And as we do in full awareness, awakening with each new step we take, we actually become that light for those who are behind us in the tunnel. And I know we ask, well, why? Why does the universe have to make it so dark sometimes in life? Why does spirit or God or the universe block the light? Why do we only have to see that darkness? And the answer is this. Because in order to see your worth, you have to be able to see nothing at all sometimes. And that's when you see that light you seek isn't ahead of you, but actually radiates from within you. And when the worth is seen, forward movement begins again, and the blocks are removed. All humans are teachers for each other. Thing is we decide what and how we want to teach. And I'll leave it with this before I go, okay? William Shakespeare. Yes, I'm going to quote William Shakespeare. He said, I always feel happy. You know why? Because I do not expect anything from anyone. Wait always hurts. Problems are not eternal. They always have a solution. The only thing that is not resolved is death. Life is short, so love it, be happy, and always smile. Just live intensely. And before you speak, listen. Before you write, think. Before you hurt, feel. And before you give up, try. And before you die, live. Seems to me that the realest messages always transcend time. As I open this episode, so too shall I close. As we live and love, we leave behind the greatest legacy of immortality that human bodies can. So let's all try. Let's be our own light. And for fuck's sake, let's all live before we die. That's all for now, my friends. I'll talk to you all later. Bye.